Okay, so
Yeah.
we're Niels, Jonas, and Michel, and we want to talk about Green Street Hooligans.
And
So the first question is, how do you define a hooligan?
Well, I think a hooligan is someone who's not very fanatic about some kind of team sport.
Yeah,
I don't think it has to be football. It could be baseball,
yeah,
whatever.
yes,
Just someone who's very fanatic about it, and I don't think they necessarily have to be fighters.
no, they can't just make trouble.
Yeah, I think
yes,
so too.
they're very into violence as
Yeah,
well.
Yeah,
I
but-
feel like a hooligan doesn't necessarily have to like the sports. He can just want to fight.
Yes.
That's how I
I
see
think
it. Like,
if you are going to be fanatic about it, you have to.
yes, of course, with the sports, but
Like-
a hooligan, the way I see it, can also just be a thug or a bully who just likes to fight and then uses the sports as a means to get into the environment with all these fighters and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good, actually.
That might be true.
I think like it that way, but of course some are just fanatic about the teams
Yeah,
and
I
they
think
just
s-
they
that-
hate the other team so much that they want to fight the
Yeah.
fans.
I think that's a big part of what a hooligan is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then perhaps a small group of hooligans just pretend they like the sports teams just to get
Yeah.
to a fight.
Perhaps. I think.
Because you see, like with the movie Green Street Elite, they do like their sports team, but on the other hand, they really like the fighting as well.
Yeah, it's just as big a part of the hooliganism as the sport actually is.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah,
what is
let's-
the main plot in the film? Well,
Okay,
that-
so we have this guy Matt.
he's
Who is
been kicked.
justically
Yeah.
kicked out of
On
Howard
false grounds, he's
Yeah.
thrown out of Howard.
because a stash of cocaine is found in his possession.
Yes.
And well, then he moves to Britain,
Hmm?
actually London, with his sister and her husband, was it Steve.
Yeah.
And well, we find out that Steve has actually been the major, which
Yeah, but I think we have to be careful not to get out on the sideway here.
oh,
Yeah, but just the main plot is that
Yeah.
Matt meets Steve, and Steve was the old leader of the Green Street League,
Yeah,
which is a firm.
and his brother
Yes, Pete.
is the new leader of the
Yes.
firm GC, and Matt starts hanging out with Pete,
Mm.
and he gets into this hooligan environment. He hangs out with Pete's friends, hangs out with other members of the firm,
Yes.
and he starts to enjoy it,
Yeah.
to like the feeling of belonging somewhere. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's been kicked out of Howard, and all
Yeah.
his life has just gone to be becoming a journalist. And when he can't be that, then again,
what
he,
is he
he,
actually?
he has
Yeah.
to figure out something else.
Yeah.
And what characterizes the two main characters? How do they develop? Shall we start with Pete?
Yeah, let's start
Yeah.
with Pete. I think Pete started out for me as being really brutal,
Yeah,
a real brute, also towards Matt.
really just wanted to fight and
Yes.
didn't really give a shit.
Mm.
But the longer you get into the film, the more you start to think that he has like some kind of valid reason that
Yeah, that he's deeper than
it's
just
almost
the
his
fighting.
life. Yes.
Yeah, we find out. We also find out he's living this double life, being a school teacher and all.
Mm.
I think in the end of the film we see that he has these values that besides just the fighting.
Yeah.
When right
It's
at the
about
end,
honor and glory. Like
yeah, and even more than that, in the end he actually sacrifices himself
Mm.
to save Steve's family
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
save Matt.
We also see in the movie, the train scene, where he actually shows that he isn't just this brute all the time.
Yeah.
That he really is a
Yeah.
gentleman that actually stands up for the women and
Yes.
let them
Yes.
take their
Yeah.
seats
Yeah.
and such.
I think he develops what I would call responsibility.
yeah, he develops in a good way.
Yeah,
But-
it's a positive development.
Mm. But we still need to remember that he's still a brute. He's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
a member of Green Street League. and
Yeah,
stuff
he's
like
still
that.
he's still
But
a
he still
fighter.
has this sensitive
Still
side or this
Yes.
normal
Yeah.
side, if you
Yeah.
could say.
Definitely.
So Matt,
Well, he starts out as this insecure little
Yes.
boy out of heart.
A boss, really. Just
Yeah, yeah. But I think the environment hardens him. I think he gains a lot of confidence from the fighting,
yes,
and the feeling of belonging somewhere, belonging to this kind of brotherhood.
Yeah.
Also develops his personal, it develops his identity, and
yeah, and he's good at it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So that's just even better for him, and
yeah.
he starts getting friends, and I don't think he ever has had friends before.
No, I don't think you ever had true friends before.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. We see at the end that he
He really cares about
yeah,
them.
he really cares. He even though nobody at home where they're going, ends up going to America, would care about him going to that last fight. He still does it because he really has developed a strong relationship
Yeah.
with these guys, and he, even though nobody at home would care about him doing it, he still goes to it because he cares about their respect.
Yeah.
And it's a big part of himself, and I don't think he'd be able to live knowing he abandoned them.
No. So well, just to sum it up, he develops like in the start he's insecure, and then suddenly he meets these friends, and
Yeah, gains
yeah, and he becomes
So-
part of the Green Street League.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He gains self-confidence.
Yes. So the ending, we did already talk a little about it with Pete's development. I think it was just to.
Are we talking the complete ending where he records?
I'm thinking Pete's death most,
Pete's death.
but we could draw in the actual ending as well.
I think it's like it all because he like says. I don't remember the exact quote, but Pete's life taught me that sometimes you need to stand up
Yeah.
for yourself, and
you
his
have
death taught me that you need to know when to back down.
Yeah.
And I think that means that Pete really taught him that he just couldn't let that rich kid ruin his life. He had to stand up for himself.
Yes, and that it kind of also sums up the whole movie like really great because
Yeah,
we start with it and we end with it and we get like the full package is closing because
yeah,
all ends are tied in the end.
yeah,
actually.
and we get this feeling that the instructor has been saying, well, stand up for yourself. Because not only in the fighting, it helps him grow as a person, but in the end, it actually also helps him get on with his life,
Yes.
get into Howard. Again, or we don't know, but he most likely got into Howard again after the movie.
Yeah.
We should go on.
So one thing I'm just wondering, the only thing I would have wanted to see more of was Steve in the end because I really don't like the fact that just because Steve needed to go with Matt to the bar to talk to him about the journalism thing problem, and that was the reason that Steve, or that Shannon, Steve's wife, left him.
Yeah.
Also, are we actually 100% sure that Shannon leaves Steve?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm also
they go to America.
yeah, but I'm just thinking, why don't they just bring Steve?
Yeah,
Because then he gets out of the environment.
yeah. I think
Anyways.
that would have been a good part. of the
So
ending.
I think that maybe that's probably a weak point in the movie.
Yeah,
but still.
it would have made it better for me at least if he had gone.
Yeah. Okay, last question. What is your attitude to hooliganism? Discussion.
I think I'd say I'm against it because, well, when they're fighting, it's against the law.
Yeah.
But otherwise, would say this part, being fanatic about your sport and really loving it, and developing hate relationships to other teams in the sport.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I think it's a part of people's. It's a big part of these hooligans' lives.
Yeah.
And I think that you can't take away who a person is, and if they want to be a hooligan, I think they should.
Yeah.
Be a hooligan.
I'm with you because I think that if the hooligans actually want to fight, then just let them fight. I
Yeah,
don't care.
they're only fighting other
As-
hooligans
yeah,
who
exactly.
actually want to fight.
As long as they don't start fighting
Yeah,
me
innocents
or
or someone who don't want to fight.
Yes, and start destroying things because that's stupid as well.
Yeah.
Don't destroy buildings, stuff like that. Just
And so
hit each other.
and as long as no one get really hurt,
Yeah.
Yeah.
really die or get seriously injured, I think that I don't think they should allowed to be allowed to fight each other. It's against law and stuff, but I personally don't mind ethically them fighting each other because it's two groups who want to fight each other.
Yeah.
And they know what they're getting into.
Yeah, I'm with that one.
And no one's forcing anyone.
Yeah, I don't.
At least
I don't really care.
Not as far as we
If
know.
they fight, let them
Let-
fight. I
yeah.
don't care.
Same.
So was that it?
I think so. Yeah.
Does anyone have a final comment? That was our final comment. You just destroyed the video, Michel.
Bye.